critique their work. We will give you a form that is to evaluate their teamwork skills. They will be undergoing some training in teamwork communication, and we will be evaluating their progress in better teamwork skills before and after their training. So although you will not know whether they've been trained or not, we will use your evaluation to determine whether the training in Second Life, which to my knowledge is the first time we've been able to actually do this type of training using this particular set of skills in Second Life, is effective. And I would also add that these students, this will be their first experience in using virtual environments for teamwork and communication and for simulation in general. And so it's a huge opportunity for you to be part of that process and introducing students studying medicine and nursing to the potential of virtual environments. Wow, that's very kind. They will be between each other, so we do not expect you to have a lot of conversation or have to worry about what you're going to say during these scenarios, because the way the scenario will be written, the students will be doing conversation and communication with themselves. So your goal will be to give an honest assessment of their performance, and we believe that through the eyes of someone who is not within the medical system but may have had some encounters and experiences with the medical system, we will be able to get better feedback to the students and better feedback to inform the process of medical education and nursing education. And it's so important for us to be able to know what the public thinks of how the process is going and what the students are doing, and to actually make you a part of growing these students into the doctors and nurses that they need to be. So we will schedule the orientation session based on your availability and availability of other volunteers that sign up. But the orientation session will take place sometime in the next 2 weeks. I'm sorry, could you repeat that, Gentle?
Jeffrey asked, how long is the commitment?
So the commitment is for a minimum of 2 sessions, and each session lasts 15 minutes. We expect that you would probably have to spend about 30 minutes for being able to, in addition to the 15-minute observation, filling out the form and giving the students a brief, maybe 5-minute feedback. And that would be all that we would expect from you, in addition to attending the orientation session, so that we can introduce you to the feedback form and so that you can know, have a sense of what it is that we're asking you to do in filling out the form, things to look for in the students' interactions. So I would say a minimum of 2 hours of your time.
Thank you.
Certainly if you find that this is something that you would like to do a little bit more of, you're welcome to attend additional scenarios, as we're definitely looking for people to come in at different times that are convenient for you, and we're going to run this study, at least during this initial phase, for the last 3 weeks of November. So the last 3 weeks of November, starting from the second week through the fourth week of November, would be the time period, and the actual commitment time would be minimum 2 hours, but certainly more if you were available, willing.
Okay, and Toby, just follow-up question. Is there going to only be one orientation?
No, there will be, as well, we hope that there will not be one orientation per observer, but we will schedule the orientation session depending on the number of observers that we have signed up and their availability. So we expect that there will be several orientation dates and that you will be able to sign up for a date.
Someone asked if there's an IAM note cards.
Yes, I would please ask that you IM the note cards and not put them in a general chat. But you can send them to me or to Kali Zaro or to Evelyn Gossett. And please, if you could rename the note card with your name, that way we can keep track of who sent the note card and we can contact you with the information for the orientation session. Okay. Or if you don't put it in the name of the note card, you can at least put it somewhere within the body of the note card. That would be really helpful. And your real name, but your avatar name, just to clarify. I'm receiving a number of note cards, and I do appreciate each and every one of you signing up, and I'll be in touch. I see another question, Dental. I want to make sure that I'm not jumping ahead. Is there another question before Lily's question? Lily's question is, are the students in the UK or in the US? And the students are in the US.
And then Toby wanted to know how to sign up.
How to sign up?
To be a volunteer.
To be a volunteer. To be a volunteer, please fill out the observer demographic form. That can be found by clicking behind me on the placard over here. I'm walking over to it now, where it says click for information on the study. When you receive the observer demographic form and fill it out, please indicate your name on the form or in the subject line and send it by IM to myself, to Kali, or to Evelyn.
Can I just add that I think it was Toby that was asking, and Rachel's kind of already said it, but Toby, I think it's important that we sometimes are so engrossed as medical and nursing people about how we communicate, and we think we're really good at it sometimes, and that's not always what we get back from the public. So we really want to incorporate that part into the research so that you know, that vital public perspective is included, and we don't get really caught up in our own feeling that maybe we're better than this, we think. I think Evelyn, Shanta, you would agree with that as well?
Yes. Yes, I agree. I had to turn my speech back on. Yes, communication is so important between doctors and nurses. What the original study was done by the Institute of Medicine here in the United States, and the study indicated that there were 100,000 preventable deaths annually in the United States. And most of those preventable deaths were related to poor communication between healthcare providers, doctors, and nurses. So the team steps that we are recreating in Second Life, we're training nurses and doctors to improve their communication skills for the patient's well-being and safety. That the patient is not left out in the communication process, as well as what is really needed for the patient is continually flowing between the doctors and the nurses.
I completely agree. And what we're doing here, which is a different aspect of things, is moving, what we found, or not we, but what has been demonstrated to be effective in real life to the simulation platform of Second Life. And one thing that it may not be very clear from the slides is that Evelyn, Janta, and I are on two different campuses of Indiana University. We're separated by about 50 kilometers, about 100 miles, and the students would never have had the opportunity to train together in this way without Second Life.
A little confused. Is this for US-based medical or European or both?
Both. The TeamSTEPPS communication training that we're doing, we're conducting it with medical students at Rachel's campus in southern Indiana and my nursing students in northern Indiana in the United States. But the same protocol, TeamSTEPPS, is suggested as a worldwide method of communication, teamwork, and collaboration for patients worldwide, and by the World Health Organization. I hope I answered your question.
Now, the other thing that I would say, just to clarify for volunteers, is that we're not limiting volunteers to being just from the U.S. So if you're not living in the U.S., it doesn't mean you cannot participate in the study as a volunteer.
Oh, I'm sorry. There you go.
Are there any other questions? Looking through my items to see if I missed anything. Okay. Well, we really appreciate your taking the time out to be here, and feel free to contact any of us. Take the study information with you. If there's someone that you would recommend to be a volunteer, please pass on the study information to them. Do let them know that the opportunity to volunteer at this time is only for the last 3 weeks of November, but we certainly may have other opportunities coming up in the next year if this part of the study goes as planned.
Folks, can I just add, and I hope I don't want to interfere with this fantastic study. If there's anybody out there, and don't declare yourself, I've not intended to check around to see who's here, but if there's anybody here that took part in my study, I just want to say thanks again. If you haven't received my thanks in other ways, then please accept it now, and I'll hope to present my initial findings early next year at virtual ability. If